Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and I came out this morning to have coffee with my trusty bucket that has my yarn, scissors, cutters, and of course, well, zip ties and masking tape too, because I needed to get my Korean melons strung up. The ants who love crawling on them and attacking the flowers, they bring in their aphids. I figured if I put the yarn on there and I wind it around, get them out in the open, get it where the birds can get there and maybe deter the ants. Well, you know what? I think it's going to work. And I already see the tendrils winding around in a matter of moments from the moment that I put this on. They're already wrapping around, look at that, the yarn. So see what you think. I'll show you what I did. I'll explain what I was working on all morning. And well, leave your comments and let me know what you think. So, coming out here to have coffee, I decided to work on my Korean melon. Since it's doing so well and these plants were planted back in April, they're making a big burst for life right now because our weather's warmed up. Our nights have been between 60, 65, and that's what a lot of your melons really like, and your squash too. So what I've done here, I already had a tomato cage in here. I am now stringing and helping my Korean melon to go along. See what it's doing there? And what my hopes are is to keep it up, and I'll be able to keep the melons on the yarn. Now let me tell you what I believe yarn's going to do really, really well, and I'll keep in touch with you on this. The ants like attacking melon. Usually what they do is they attack the small fruit, and you'll see that they'll farm aphids on it, and I just wiped it off with my finger, so I don't see any more. Let me see if we see any more here. Yeah, there's a little one there, see? Let me see if I can get you to see that. See that? I'm going to take that off. Just with our hand. There's only one on there. Oh, there's a couple of them on there. Okay, we're going to get it off. Here's the thing. The bush tits can come in here and clean off all the flowers and the fruit. That's not an issue because they are so tiny. But what I believe is this is going to be an unstable ground for ants. They're not going to like yarn. It's fuzzy. It doesn't give them a smooth path like they like. And it's too easy to rub something on yarn that they don't like. Be it, a lot of you add on oil, you can add on a little vinegar. There's a lot of things you can do and it will absorb that, and they may not like it. We could probably hinder a lot of them from coming here just simply by using the yarn alone. Now that I've knocked them off, let's see if they come back, because they would be coming up into the totes and then going through the melon. But I don't think they're going to go on yarn. And if this turns out to be the answer, I will be doing all my melons from now on in yarn, and that will keep the ants out. And that will keep the birds in. Then, of course, if there's fruit, just to protect it later, right now I'll leave it alone. I can just cover that with tulle, like I usually do. And I'll do the same thing with the watermelons. I haven't had too many problems that I've noticed with ants. I don't mind the ants pollinating. That's okay, but you don't want them farming. Ants are farmers. Maybe let's call them ranchers, like ranchers with cattle and horses and goats. They're ranchers. They collect and take care of their aphids because they feed off of parts of them. Let's just say what they use them for food. But what I'm trying to say is I think we can deter them by simply using a nice fuzzy yarn. This isn't too fuzzy. It's just that you definitely can feel how fuzzy it is, and I just don't think it's going to be the best path for them. And like I said, way too easy to get rid of them off the yarn. So let's see how this goes. I think it's going to go really, really well. I'm going to start going through my watermelon here. I'm going to trim off if they have too many, because the watermelon in that tote has just taken off. Right now I'm doing it this way, and I am stringing yarn. That is a mockingbird. And if you notice, any place that I've got the watermelon with the yarn, I don't even see any ants at all. See, ants can go through a wooden surface, they can go down a plastic surface, and we have ways of getting rid of them that way too. But I don't think they're going to want to crawl on yarn. I think this is going to be a really big win-win. And on top of that, as far as a win-win, you can go to any of your craft stores and buy yarn They do have special yarn that's, simple like this that you can get for about $1. I pick them up at the dollar store or the thrift store. And if you go to the thrift store, you can find them for like 50 cents. But, I wouldn't be running to thrift stores to save 50 cents. Look around. Michael's, Joann's, any of your craft stores, Walmart, Target, they all have yarn. Get a simple, cheap yarn. And then at the end of the season, I'm telling you, this will go into the second season next year. Just take it off and start over. You're going to have so much yarn with one spool like this or one ball of yarn that you're going to have enough yarn to really do your whole garden. I just pick them up anytime I go to the store and I see them. And this one I believe is from the thrift. No, this one was from the dollar store. So you can find them anywhere. Anyways, isn't that cute? So I took the tomato basket here, the cage here, and I just strung the yarn back and forth. And there's another one there, and it kind of wrapped it a little bit around the pole, the tomato stake. And now it's going to guide them through, and they should follow it, like this one's following it. Right here, see? And hopefully they'll follow it along, and I can direct them, and you can help direct them too. Like this one's coming along, we can just help direct it. And you can double up on the yarn too, so you give them a good path to follow, and they'll follow it. And you should be able to direct your melons that way. Here in Southern California, our melons grow better once they take off in the middle and late summer because we're actually warmer here into the fall. We were harvesting melons last time here in November, beginning of November. Harvesting, not growing, but harvesting. So this should be really good. I'm going to keep up with all this. Use the yarn. Hope I've given you some ideas because this is a cheap way of doing it. And not only is it cheap, a lot of the stuff I do, I know that's really cheap. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually, in my opinion, to me it's better. It's more frugal. I can cut the yarn off. Anything that I think is really good, I can just stick in my pocket, in my shirt pockets that I make. These are my t-shirts, and I make these big pockets. And I can save them and put them in a plastic bag and use small pieces to tie up, let's say, tomatoes and different things, even next year. I've had the yarn go 2 and 3 years. Remember, it's made for clothing. You're supposed to be able to knit something and throw it in the washer and dryer, and it's supposed to be able to last. So can you imagine how well it's been doing in my garden since I started using it quite a few years ago? That's been fantastic between yarn and masking tape. And that's the other thing here is when I tied this one, I didn't tie it really good, so I just put a little masking tape there. And let me tell you something, this masking tape's gonna hold this string up all season. I've got masking tape that I'm removing in my garden on stakes that are over 2 years old. So get yourself a good masking tape because it lasts a long time and you'd be surprised how well that works. All right, well, we'll come back later and see how it's all doing. My watermelons are doing fantastic. And they're a little heavy to put on yarn, but if you can support the yarn and then support them a little bit, like maybe putting some stakes through, you could use yarn on that too. Yarn is fabulous for all your plants you want to string up, be it tomatoes, peppers, any of your melons, even squash, you can string them up with yarn. All right, so I think I'm done for today. I'm really, really happy with all this. And I'll just keep an eye on that and see if I want to string in any more. I can continue to string in more. It's not going to disturb anything. I can still get into my totes and service my totes. And remember, this is short-lived. In a matter of months, this plant will be gone. And that's it. And it will keep it up so I won't have to deal, it was in the tote, with too much powdery mildew. We deal with powdery mildew here because like all morning, I mean, the sky is beautiful right now at what, 9:30 in the morning, but all morning it looked like it's so humid here and damp, and it's even cool that's what brings in a lot of our powdery mildew. Then of course it warms up, but it's too late, and then the plants hold it. And I'm not even going to remove any of the leaves here because it's not going to hurt anything. If the leaf looks like it's not doing the plant any good, that's when I remove it. I leave it right now and just take, because they need the leaves to pull in the nutrients and everything for the plant. See how the new leaves are coming in beautiful? As soon as I see it's got enough nice green leaves, that's when I trim them off, and then I compost them. I don't bury them or burn them or throw them away. I just compost them, and that's it. So I hope I've given you some ideas. And if you've got problems on stringing up some of your, maybe your lighter plants, your smaller melons and stuff, give it a try if you haven't tried yarn, because I absolutely love it. And let me know what you think. Let me know if it's gotten rid of some of your problems, if you've got ants and different things, because I'd be really curious, because I think this is going to be fantastic. And if the ants come, I'm going to get rid of them. And I know you can too. So with that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Oh, wow. This thing keeps doubling in size. Why are you undressing in my garden? You're not going to repeat what you said.
Because you're hot.
Oh, look. What is that? Oh, that's a hawk. Oh, look at this. I went to videotape a hawk instead of my hot husband. You're eating my tomatoes. Yeah, I got to get all these tomatoes off or they're going to stop producing. It's just loaded. I keep picking, they keep growing.
And the basil flowers too.
That I can't do. You eat basil and tomatoes at the same time?
Yeah.
I don't do that. It's good, but I don't do that. All right. I just did something. I made it sound so hard in the video. I said I worked all morning on that, putting up string on my Korean melons, and what I neglected to say is it took me 15 minutes, if that. Oh well, let them think I work hard.